بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Assalamu alaikum. Today it is Tuesday, the 12th of July 2022. And in our series, Reflections on the Holy Quran, this is broadcast number 335. We are covering chapter 2, verse 102. That's Al-Baqarah, verse 102, and looking at the words used therein. And this is the 16th broadcast in looking at the words of this verse. These broadcasts are brought to you by LASER, Lahore Ahmadiyya School of Religion, Lahore Ahmadiyya School of Education in Religion, which is a branch of the Lahore Ahmadiyya movement, also known as the Ahmadiyya Anjuman Islam. The Ahmadiyya movement was established by Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib, who said that although non-Ahmadi friends believe that after the Holy Prophet Muhammad another prophet will come, this is incorrect, because the Holy Quran says that the Holy Prophet is Khatamun Nabiyyin. And the Holy Prophet explained its meaning by saying, La Nabi Abadi, there is no prophet after me. So now no prophet can come, old or new or green or blue or whatever. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi said that his claim was that in accordance with the hadith of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, and as had been happening for 1400 years before him, he was a reformer that God had sent to defend Islam and to correct the wrong beliefs, the many wrong beliefs of the Muslims. But he also taught that the hadith speak of a Messiah and Mahdi who will come for the Muslims, and the signs of their advent were fulfilled in Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's advent. And this is why we say Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Mujaddid, Masih Maud, Mahdi Mahud. And this infuriated Muslims, who started calling Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib a kafir and Ahmadis kafirs and so on. And Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad taught that the Holy Prophet Muhammad had said that if one Muslim, if one reciter of the kalima says to another reciter of the kalima, you are a heretic, you are a kafir, then it is the person saying that. It is the person saying that who is the heretic and kafir. So Hazrat Sahib pointed out that Muslims should be extremely reluctant to utter such words. He also taught that although non-Ahmadi Muslims believe that part of the prophetic revelation is not in the Holy Quran. And some prophetic revelation which is in the Holy Quran has been abrogated, cancelled. He said this cannot be correct because God said, I have revealed it and I shall protect it. So if God is protecting it, then how can anything be missing from it? Or how can anything that is in it be cancelled or abrogated? Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad also said that jihad is a constant duty of every Muslim. But he said, not jihad as defined by people who say that, take the sword and rush out, and if non-Muslims don't recite the kalima, cut their heads off. But jihad as defined by the Holy Prophet Muhammad, who, when returning from fighting, said Muslims are returning from Jihad Asghar, the minor jihad, to Jihad Akbar, the major jihad. And he went on, and the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam went on to explain that the major jihad is jihad bin nafs, a struggle to control your own dreams and desires and so on. Because they are the ones who lead you astray and make you do wrong things. So, as I said, we are carrying on with chapter 2, verse 102. And as I have also said, that because it's a long verse of the Holy Quran, I'm only reciting that part of the verse, that section of the verse, where the words are that we're going to talk about. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما هم بضارين به من أحد إلا بإذن الله. So the words we are going to look at today are illa, bi izni, and Allah. So let's go to my notes, and where are we? Here we are. So illa, that means except. Not except as in take, but except as in excluding. Everyone's eating except you, kind of except. EXCEPT. And it occurs 663 times in the Holy Quran, and with that meaning. But in some places it's but again, but is in the sense of except. So as far as I've been able to find out, that that is all. The next word it has the root, the triliteral root, hamza, dhaal, noon. And it occurs in the Holy Quran 102 times. The root occurs 102 times, and 9 words made from these 3 letters, from this root, are found in the Holy Quran. 39 times izn, and 23 times azina, and 11 times uzunun, and so on. And twice as muezzin. So if we look at its meaning, al-uzunu means the ear, literally the ear. But it's also used for people who hear and they accept or they obey. So, for example, the Holy Quran, chapter 9, verse 61 says, وَيَقُولُونَ هُوَ أُذُنٌ قُلْ أُذُنُ خَيْرٍ لَكُمْ. And they say that this people is just ears. Tell them, if he is just an ear, then this is for your benefit. And that is that, this person, he hears and he doesn't question. He obeys. Or in another place it says, وَفِي آذَانِهِمْ وَقْرًا. So you can see the word azan is used here. And it means that they can't hear anything. But it doesn't mean that they've gone deaf, but it means they are ignorant. The sound is going into their ear, and they know what words they are, but they're ignorant and they're not prepared to accept those words. Azina means that the person for whom it is used listens or has listened attentively with concentration. For example, chapter 84, verse 2, we find وَأَذِنَتْ لِرَبِّهَا وَحُقَّتْ. And she'll hear the command of the Lord and Iznun also applies to what we learn by hearing, the knowledge we gather by hearing. And really it starts at, when you go to primary school, the teacher talks to you. A, B, C, A for apple, B for, banana, and so on. And 1 + 1 is 2, and all that kind of thing. Now we learn these things because we listen to them. And then throughout our lives, this happens. We go to secondary school, then we go to college and university and so on. And we sit in lecture halls and we listen and we take notes. So most of the knowledge we get is through our ears. But of course, it's true that we may go to the library and get some books out and sit there and read them and get knowledge that way as well. But the point was that the word iznu is also applied to knowledge gained through hearing. Chapter 2, verse 279 says, فَأْذَنُوا بِحَرْبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. Be warned, get ready, that you're going to fight Allah and His Prophet. So they're gaining that knowledge through their hearing. Now, azanun is everything that you that goes into your ears. So, for example, chapter 7, verse 167 says, "What is the azna book?" And recall that time when your Lord warned. This is actually Jews who were warned. So lots of people add the Jews in brackets. And the person who makes these declarations, who's speaking, he's called Muazzin. This is why the person who calls out the azan, when a person is calling the azan, what's he doing? He's giving you knowledge of the fact that it is prayer time. Whichever prayer it is, Fajr, Zuhr, Asr, etc. He's called the crier, the Muezzin. Correct, I guess English translation would be the crier. The Holy Quran says, ثُمَّ أَذَّنَ مُؤَذِّنٌ أَيُّتُهَا الْإِيثِيرُ. And a crier called out. Muazzin. Azana, muazzin. A crier called out. O people, O travelers. فَأَذَّنُوا مُؤَذِّنٌ بَيْنَهُمْ. Chapter 7, verse 44. So then, from among them, a crier shall call out. فَأَذَّنَ, call out will. مُؤَذِّنٌ, a crier. بَيْنَهُمْ, from among them. وَأَذِّن فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ. Chapter 22, verse 27. Announce the Hajj to the people. Now, to get back to the verse that we are talking about, and it says, وَمَا هُمْ بِضَارِّينَ بِهِ مِنْ أَحَدٍ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. And that is that they can't harm doing the things they do. Harm only comes by Allah's permission or Allah's command. Bi-iznillah. You can say His command, you can say His He decrees, and so on. But you see, this is not the only place. In chapter 58, verse 10, it says, وَلَيْسَ بِدَارِّهِمْ شَيْئًا إِلَّا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. Nothing can harm them except if Allah decrees something. Now, you see, the thing is, the verse that we are discussing, chapter 2, verse 102, previously it says that these people, they go and they worship idols and they learn sort of magic incantations and so on. And God says, none of these things can harm you. Harm only comes if this is what God has decreed for you. Not once, but at least twice, perhaps even more than twice. God rejects and refutes all these magic incantations and taweez and all these things. And yet, we say we are Muslims, we are this, we are that, and so on, but we continue to believe in these things. And it's puzzling for me why we continue to believe in things when, in clear terms, the Holy Quran says that they don't do anything. So, what they do is they interpret, for example, chapter 58, verse 10, and they say, Bi-iznillah means knowledge from Allah. And these people have received this knowledge from Allah and they're using it for whatever purpose. But it doesn't say ilm. Knowledge is ilm. And the word ilm is not used there. This is just a mistranslation, a misuse, a misinterpretation. Why? So that, people would go to them and then they'll charge them a lot of money and give them these things and tell them to read this 33 times and blow on your enemy, and your enemy will be unsuccessful, or blow it on the girl you want to marry, but she doesn't pay you any attention and she'll fall madly in love with you, and whatever else. And you see that this is quite common in many countries, that men and women do these things. My husband doesn't love me, what should I do? Well, give me £100 and I'll tell you the magic formula, and you recite it 100 times a day and then blow on him. Sometimes they say that write it and then fill a glass with water and put this piece of paper in that glass, and then take the paper out and give it to your husband to drink, and so on. And it is lucrative trade. People make a lot of money, but it is against the instructions of the Holy Quran. The Holy Quran even says in chapter 10, verse 100, وَمَا كَانَ لِنَفْسٍ أَن تُؤْمِنَ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. No one can make another person believe unless it is God's will that this should happen. And you might say that, I'm laboring the point, that yes, I am laboring the point, but because it is such a damaging and common part of our culture, and it needs to be uprooted. Another derivation of the word is in chapter 9, verse 45, for example, Innama yastahzinuka allazina la yu'minuna billah. So it's only those who seek permission, who do not believe in Allah or the last day, or in another place, Izasta Zanug, chapter 64, verse 62. And when these people ask you permission for something or other. So, and the next word, the last word of this phrase is Allah. And we've spoken about this many times, in that some people, even Muslims, and you find it in Muslim dictionaries and commentaries of the Holy Quran, that Allah is actually Al-Illah. But I find this grossly objectionable for this reason, that what it is implying is that Illah means God. So what that is saying is there are many gods, and Al-Illah, this is the God. So you're not actually a believer in Tawheed, in unity of Godhead. Because the God means there are other gods. If there was only one God, you wouldn't need to add the in front of it. You know, when you say, the bicycle I had, there are lots and lots of bicycles, but the bicycle I had, I'm talking from among all the bicycles, I'm talking about that particular one that I had, the bicycle that I had. So if it's Al-Illah, that means there are lots and lots of gods that we believe in, but this is the God. And this is incorrect. And I pointed this out many times, that Arabic letters, characters are divided into what's called the sun letters, Haruf Shamsi, and moon letters, Haruf Qamari, because they show us how these letters are pronounced when Al is added to them. Shams means the sun. When you add Al before it, you say Ash-Shams. Qamar means moon. When you add Al in front of it, say Al-Qamar. So if you have a sun letter, and if you have a word beginning with the sun letter, and you add Al in front of it, Lam will be dropped. Like with Shams, you say Ash-Shams. If you have a moon letter and you add Al before it, we'll pronounce both fully, Al-Qamar. Now, that means that if it's Al-Illah, both the words should be separately pronounced. But we don't. We say Allah. So that means it's not Al-Illah. It means Allah is a word in its own right. So we should remember that and stress that when someone raises this kind of an objection. With that, I take my leave of you with the prayer that whoever you are and wherever you may be, may Allah keep all of you safe and sound and free from harm. Assalamu alaikum, Khuda Hafiz, and goodbye.